Kelly, it's your turn. Oh, that was fun.
Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Lynchburg. We are glad you are here. Whoever you are, whatever your beliefs, whatever your age, and whomever you love, you're welcome here. As we work together for justice, compassion, and peace, we also acknowledge with humility that our buildings sit on Monacan land. My name is Matt Canning. If you're here with us for the first time, we are glad you chose to be here this morning to participate in the service for this congregation we love. If you would like to receive our monthly newsletter and Friday email updates, please fill out the virtual visitor card found on our website, uulynchburg.org, under Sunday Services, or fill out the yellow card found in the back of the chair in front of you and place it in the offering basket during the offering. This morning is a continuation of our Building Your Own Theology series focused on individuality and community. You will find some thoughts to consider. Following a short sermon, we will have a chance to share our thoughts about this subject in small groups. If you prefer to reflect on your own, just let those around you know. At the end of the service, we'll need help from those who can move chairs. In preparation for our September 1st Sunday workday, we need to move all the chairs onto the chancel area so Mr. Barry can clean and wax the floor this week. So if you have a strong back and 15 minutes to help, it will be greatly appreciated. Next week, rather than regular service, we will have our annual workday. Cleaning is spiritual work too. So come prepared to enjoy working with friends and bring a potluck dish to share. Our Zoom friends will share a conversation at 10:30. Now, I invite us to release our worries about the world and our own lives as we enter into the service by taking some slow, calming breaths.
Let's take a moment now to wave good morning to our Zoomie friends and Zoomies. Wave good morning to those of us here in the sanctuary. It's wonderful to be together in this time and space. As we light the chalice of our faith, let us share these words. May the light we now kindle inspire us to use our powers to heal and not to harm, to help and not to hinder, to bless and not to curse, to serve you, O Spirit of life. Let us now rise in body or spirit as we share hymn number 347, Gather the Spirit. All of those who are young at heart to come forward and join us.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How is everyone today? We have a really good story today. It's called Go Be Wonderful. You want to take us down there so you can see the pictures? You good? Okay. When Daisy was born, When Daisy was born, Daddy held her close and whispered, "Go be wonderful." And she was. She cried and ate. She cried and slept. She cried and went poop. She giggled through 1,258 games of peekaboo. When Daisy turned 1, Mommy twirled her and whirled her and sang, "Go be wonderful." And she was. She zoomed her truck. She dressed the dog, poor Mr. Bonkers. And she joined a rock and roll band. Daisy was the star. When Daisy turned 2, Grandma and Grandpa covered her with smooches and said, "Go be wonderful." And she was. She shopped for food. She fed the dog. At bedtime, she stamped her foot, crossed her arms, and yelled, "No!" But she went to bed anyway. After six sips of water, 7 sleepy stories, and 1 burpy slurpy kiss from Mr. Bonkers. When Daisy turned 3, Uncle Jay, Uncle Denny, and Uncle Michael danced a jiggly jig and crooned, "Go be wonderful." And she was. She used the potty. Whee! She took a bath. After her second splashy bath, Daisy spun around and around until she was dry and dizzy and plop, toppled over. Then she wiggled and tugged her clothes on all by herself. When Daisy turned 4, her neighbor, Miss Myrna, tweaked her cheeks and twittered, "Go be wonderful." And she was. She raked the leaves. She hopped on 1 foot, and she rode her scooter all the way to the library, where she chose a book all by herself. Now, it was time for Daisy to start school. Daddy, Mommy, Grandma and Grandpa, Uncle Jay, Uncle Denny, Uncle Michael, and all of her neighbors fussed over her. They all said, "Go be wonderful." But Daisy wasn't sure she would be wonderful at school. What if she put her brand new lunchbox in the wrong place? What if she put it in the right place, but no one liked her? What if she got lost on her way to the bathroom? What if she cried because she missed Mr. Bonkers? What if Daisy worried about all the things that might happen at school? But here's what did happen. Daisy played peekaboo with Fluffy and Slimy, the class pets. Then she put her lunchbox in the almost right place. She zoomed like a truck at recess and bumped into only 2 people by accident. At snack time, Daisy shared her bench and spilled juice on her new top. But so did Zeta. And she found the potty just in time. Then Daisy listened as Miss Marlowe read a story about a dog who was just like Mr. Bonkers, and it was wonderful. When Daisy burst from her classroom at the end of the school day, she said, "Guess what? I was wonderful." Yeah. So I like this book because it's a great time for stories about starting school, right? Right at the start of our new school year. And I like that it showed how she had this great community all around her to help care for her and help her know how wonderful she is. I think we have a community like that, don't we? And today in RE, we're going to be talking all about love, because all the values that we talked about this summer, they all remind us that we put love at the center, right? Yeah, so this is our last week of summer RE, and so we're going to talk about love today.
It's the only other thing that
That's right, it's the last one.
So I'm wondering if this would be the perfect day for all of us, the grown-ups, before we sing you out, to say, "Go be wonderful." Can we do that?
Yes.
Okay, y'all stand up. Go be wonderful. Today, we take an offering of our gifts for the work of this community, both within this building and in the larger world. The monetary support that you share with us, either in the sanctuary or on Zoom through PayPal or a check, help this community flourish. And so we are grateful for the generous gifts you give. They are gratefully received. It is our tradition that we share.
This meeting is being recorded.
Spirit of life and love, we hold up today the joys and the concerns that are light in our heart or heavy as stones. We give thanks for the wonder and mystery of life, knowing how blessed we are to be walking this earth. Grateful for all those who have helped us become who we are, from birth to death. We share the wonder and mystery of life. We hold up today those who are suffering, those who lack the basic necessities of life: clean water, adequate food, clothing, shelter, medical care. As we seek to find the work that is ours to do to help transform the world, let us be mindful that each of us is a gift to help transform the beloved community. This we ask in the name of all that is sacred. Amen. months ago, we began to periodically share a topic that focused on one aspect of how we build a theology that gives meaning and shape to our personal spiritual lives. Today, we look at the balance between individual freedom and community engagement. Each year, as school begins, our congregation also begins a new year with hopefully renewed energy and great ideas, as well as the varied joys and concerns that are part of each of our lives. We come as individuals to create a community that is shaped by each of us. Our larger culture often holds the rugged individual as the ideal, a being who is strong, stoic, and doesn't ask for help. Many times, this unspoken ideal hampers our emotional and spiritual health. With this mindset, we can end up feeling isolated and lonely. Recently, a therapist friend of mine posted the following quote on Facebook, which we know shares all the wisdom of the world. I have no idea who wrote this, but I liked the quote. The greatest illusion of modern society is that freedom is purely individualistic, when in reality, our freedom is deeply interconnected with the well-being of everyone. This maxim, written by some brilliant person, reflects a major tension in our society that also shapes our Unitarian Universalist congregations. Individualism is both an important means of self-affirmation, and it can also keep us separated from meaningful community. The philosophy I prefer, and I mention it every now and then, is the African philosophy of Ubuntu, not the computer program. Ubuntu is the belief that we are all interconnected. It's the understanding that I am because we are. The community gives the individual her or his meaning in life. The individual succeeds because of the nurture and love from their community of choice. I thought about that a lot yesterday and last night because Makana and I had the privilege of attending a memorial service at the Roanoke congregation for the Reverend Walter LaFleur. It was a great testament to and celebration of the life of a good, caring man. People shared stories of Walter the man, and Walter the minister, and Walter the leader in Unitarian Universalism. Several times during the service, things were said that made me think of our congregation and how generously people here give to one another and speak their truth. It was a testament to the ways in which individuals are shaped by their community and how the community shapes the people who are part of that community. What a gift to each of us and all of us to participate in and benefit from a beloved community. So as we begin this year, let us consider the balance we need to find between our individual needs and the health of our community. Our opening hymn reminded us that our individual flames create a greater flame. It affirms our commitment to do our part in creating a beloved community. We are not consumers in this congregation. We are creators and sustainers. Each Sunday, we affirm our right to hold individual beliefs rather than a set creed professed by everyone. But let's face it, that's harder work. We are aware that each of us brings our own needs and opinions into every gathering. And this is as it should be because each of us comes here to heal in one way or another. Yes, we come to get inspired, to act for justice, to help one another, but we are here to be healed and transformed. In a conversation a few days ago, I said that we all bring our unresolved issues into the congregation. What? I would have issues? You would have issues? I would say it's probably the gospel. A person who I deeply respect jokingly asked if that included me. Like, am I here working on my own issues? And yes, it does. If I'm not learning and growing by being with you and sharing with you, then my faith and my spiritual life will be stunted. And like us, our community needs to be sustained. We don't just show up. To be enriched by our community, we need to invest ourselves. We know that we need this community because it's hard going it alone in the world. I think that's the most profound lesson we learned from the pandemic about individualism. Isolation wears off really quickly when you're stuck at home. We want and need more than individualism. That is where community comes into our lives. As individuals, we choose a congregation that seems like a safe place to grow and learn. Becoming part of a congregation involves an individual being seen and heard, but not always agreed with. Individuals are honored in our community, but each of us also relinquishes part of our individuality for the welfare of the community. One's community will hopefully support one's deepest values, who at the same time holds space for those who hold a different opinion. Here we learn how to listen deeply and how to compromise. Our community supports us as we find a place to get connected within our community. We receive from participation in our congregation, and we give back as we help sustain our congregation. Spiritual community is not passive, it is active in many ways. I wonder if you have found, I'm sort of speaking to the choir here, if you have found ways to get involved in our congregation. I'm looking at a lot of people who are incredibly involved. What needs do you have now that this congregation might meet for you? What are your yearnings? How might we work together to address your longings? Where are the rigid places in your life where you need people to agree with you or help you become flexible? How is your resilience expressed in our congregation? Do you offer yourself, your time, and energy to help others as they help support you? Our community needs your individual self, and we need your resilient self so that together we can make meaning in our lives, in our congregation. Because for our congregation to be a meaningful community, we all need to reflect on what we need from our congregation, as well as what we can offer our congregation. We'll get a chance to work on that after the service when Molly gives us instructions about how we're going to move all of these chairs up here. This wasn't originally planned, but yeah. For our congregation to be a meaningful community, we all need to reflect on what we need from our congregation and what we can offer. For instance, I love social events, shared meals, game nights, conversation, and some afternoons or evenings, I realize what we also need are folks who enjoy those events and are willing to stay and clean up. I want to reinforce, we talked at the board meeting, and it was like, we just need people who'll stay for 15 minutes and clean up. That's an important thing. It seems so simple. As individuals, we will benefit from events coming up in the next few months, and we're called to do our part. It takes us all to shape the future of our community. So this morning, we're going to have just a few minutes to talk with 2 or 3 folks who may be sitting around you, or you may want to move to the other side of the sanctuary to meet with some people you may not know very well. So we're going to be thinking about how our emotional and spiritual needs might have changed since the pandemic, and what aspects of congregational life are most important to us. After considering those thoughts for just a few minutes, then you can get in groups of 2 or 3, whatever feels comfortable, to talk about your ideas and share your thoughts. At the end of the service, if there are ideas that you want the staff or the board to pass on, to make happen, then just give me the piece of paper with your thoughts on it. So, at the end of your bulletin, you have some paper, some questions, some thoughts. So let's just take a few minutes to look at that. Does anybody need a bulletin? Okay. Okay, we've got several folks. Do we need some more bulletins? So it looks like some folks are ready to sort of snuggle up to begin some conversation. No, but y'all are more fun.
Okay, so I think, David, I think you just did it for me. And so to my Zoomies, and so this is gonna be hard because everybody can still, I can't see you, but hopefully you all can see the statement on the screen. And so I invite you to share your responses. Which of these, and obviously there probably are more than one, really speak to you, or are there things you would add? And so just speak up as you're wanting to. I think this will work. No. Good. Yes. Yay.
I seem to agree with all these. Maybe I wasn't listening well enough to know what this is an
Is this
exercise for.
I think
Oh, so-
it's also a ranking as, which one of these are more important, which one of these may be less important, etc.
Right. And it's a way, thank you, David. That's exactly right. It's also a way of helping us see how our individual path joins with and is enriched by our experience and participation in community. Which of these, that's what it is. So it's helping people see the bridge between individual and community.
Yeah.
We always want them to see.
There's something that's not there that we'd like to have.
Yes, and is there something? Who has something that they don't see that they'd like to have?
I don't know who that was.
No, I don't. I think it might have been Larry. Might have been Larry because
Oh, yeah, might have been. Huh.
I don't know if this might be included in some of them, but a place of joy, a place to share good humor, good times.
The second one there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the second, and
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
a good one. Rick, thank you. So which one is most important? Which one kind of stands out as being most important? I'll start with that because I think that the one that I like them all, a place where we know we belong and are valued, where people are joined by a common commitment and similar theology is the one that I really like. And similar theology is like really broad. But that's really what's important to me to connect with each week, along with all of the others. I think they're all great.
Yeah,
Maybe-
that's the thing, is they're all really good.
Yeah.
The one that stood out for me immediately, just in scanning it, is a place of moral discourse.
Yep.
And social action.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I do like that second one though, that
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
so if there's a ranking of these, what's the end game?
Well, I don't know. It's just so that you're aware of which one's most important to you. And if so there maybe is a slight, kind of indirect encouragement or nudging. If there's a one, you rank them and then you see, gee, is there a group or a team that works on this that I'd like to help with?
Mhm.
Probably part of it. Either help with either in person, or we find ways on Zoom to be a great help too. So it's like, is there one that you would really kind of like to join with this year? So that's another piece of it. But first of all, I think it was meant to be a way of seeing how much, helping us understand how much community really means to us. We're not just individual, we are individual UUs, and we're in UUs in as a congregation in community. So yeah, I think does that answer the question?
Yes, it does, actually, very well, as usual.
I guess I would see these as kind of building blocks and any one, as if each one of these was a brick, which
Yes.
one of those bricks would missing would make it a less of a less strength, less stronger. So I can't see any of them that I'd want not to see.
Thanks. Beautiful image. Thank you, Larry. I agree.
We're so good.
What about some other folks who are here on Zoom? Let's see, who do I have? Because I can't see your faces right now. Dick or Finis or Mike or Phyllis or Trudy. Any thoughts you have? And I don't know, I'm gonna count, I don't know how David is tracking what's happening in the congregation, because I don't know when she wants us back, but I think.
I'm assuming they'll unmute themselves when they want us back.
Okay, great. That's fine. Thank you. Anybody else?
So,
Dick.
yes, I've been looking at all of them. They're all important. Back to myself and say, well, what's important to me, particularly about the church, and that is, it's a time of, the service is a time of, kind of marks a place that's different for me during the week. It's a place I'm not involved in the other things that I'm usually involved in. It's a place where I see people I know, and just have a sense of community. I like to think of the idea of being an awakener of faith, but my, when I think of faith, it's hard to separate faith from belief sometimes. I think it should be an awakener of faith, whatever you want to have faith in. It's going to be different for all of us, probably. So what does a church bring to me? It also is an opportunity for service, that we can serve each other, being on a committee or in other ways that we can serve each other. That's important, service.
Mhm.
It helps give meaning to our lives. Some of my random thoughts.
Thanks, Dick. Thank you very much. Good thoughts. Very good thoughts. I appreciate the wording down toward the end, a place of respite where we can find peace in a swirling world and focus our energies on things that matter. And I would just add, with people who we care about. So
Right.
I think that's a very nice statement of especially the feeling of Sunday morning.
Exactly.
The one on counseling and caring center, a place of mutual ministry where we share deeply our joys and sorrows and learn to love our neighbors. It seems to me that's a critical function. We have our joys and sorrows.
Mhm.
When people express either, they are sharing it with what they hope is their community and
Mhm.
us. I think that's a really important function.
Mhm. Thanks, Rick. I agree, because when we share it with others, especially if it's a sorrow or concern, it can seem a little less heavy because
Mhm.
others are holding it with us. And that's just, and the same with the joy, being able to celebrate a joy just, so it's very special.
Mhm.
So when I look at Corey, and raising a child in the Unitarian Church, that top one,
Yep.
yeah, is just, we had them both in the church to allow them the freedom to
Choose their
choose
own.
their own, and they've chosen different paths, but it's really interesting to see them actually do this over their lifespan, which is not, well, it's 40 years. I mean,
Yeah,
that's a fair lifespan, and to see them have their own meanings and convictions, and
right.
so that's kind of cool.
More than kind of cool. I think it's ultimately cool. I just love that one. I think that's so true. So true. And gosh, yeah, it's a beautiful, I wish I'd had it. And yes, I think it's just wonderful.
Mhm. This, this may be included in some way there, but I'm just thinking that it's just such a pleasure to be able to participate in a group, a congregation where people share their gifts and talents and for the betterment of both our, our, our church community and the whole community. Just kind of
Absolutely.
something that you appreciate.
There we go.
I think that's our signal.
A subtle statement.
As our service draws to a close, we extinguish the flame of our chalice as we say these words together. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. It's that time. Let's wave goodbye to our Zoomies. Zoomies, wave goodbye to us roomies who are here today. It's been good to be together. Our words of blessing as a benediction come from Laurelyn Bellamy. If here you have found freedom, take it with you into the world. If you have found comfort, go and share it with others. If you have dreamed dreams, help one another that they may come true. If you have known love, give some back to a bruised and hurting world. Go in peace. Amen.